if we are impact focused, impact is about making other people's lives better. And so if we are both growing and focused on impact, we're growing our capacity for that impact.
Right.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I am the founder of Forward Partners, and I am joined by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily Grace Deal, what are we talking about today?
So we're exploring our definition of a thriving team still.
Yes.
This is part 3. So our definition is: everyone on our team is unified in purpose, champions healthy leadership, and works for growth and impact.
Yes.
So today we're talking about the last one, growth and impact.
Works for growth and impact. And this is really key because for so many of us, if we don't have a view of impact and the good that we're doing, and we are not on a path of growth, if we're not focused on that, we can end up getting stuck. We can end up just getting kind of trapped in our task list. That's all we see every day. It's not about, man, we're advancing, we're doing good, the impact is happening, we're seeing it. It ultimately becomes about survival.
Yeah.
Can I just check enough tasks to get through today to survive to tomorrow? Which, by the way, is going to look very similar.
Yeah.
That's exhausting, right? That's the hamster on the wheel. And we've had those seasons before where that happens.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen, but if you never have the let's look to the next thing and let's look at some possibilities and how can we grow, then it's going to keep happening. That season will continue.
Yes. And part of the reason we phrase it this way, working for growth and impact, everyone is working for that. We as a team are constantly talking about growth. It goes to that idea of creating a culture of growth that we've done an episode on before, where you're not just individually, one or two people might be getting better, but everybody else is kind of stuck. It's like, no, we grow all the time.
Right. We notice and we pull people along and we help people grow.
Yes. Status quo is not good for us. We are good with growth. And ultimately what this is about is growing that impact. And so there's a few just basic questions, like how are we individually as leaders growing? What are the areas we're focused on? And, at the beginning of every year, we kind of talk through, okay, what do I want to grow in this year? It's not really resolutions so much as it is, here's an area I want to grow. We're talking this year about reading. Like, I want to read more. I've
already finished a book, by the way.
Excellent job. Love it. So, and we're recording this, by the way, on January 22nd. So you'll probably see this a couple months from now.
Really?
They're like, oh, great. By June, you finished a book. But this is a real focus for us because ultimately, like, we have areas of growth we want to have. And I listen to books all the time. I listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah.
But I love reading. I just never am intentional about it. And so this year I was like, okay, this is the year of intentionality. You kind of jumped on board the same thing. So this is the year I want to grow through reading. And we got a couple books we're reading together. And so I think that's good for teams that work together to say, how am I growing? How is the team growing? Like, how are we as a team getting better at certain things? One of the things we talked about this year is we're taking on so much more work this year. We really want to get better at customer service. And some of that is going to be things we need to improve on. Some of it is we got to hire more people. We need more help to improve. And part of that growth mindset is you're always about what's next. What's the next skill? What's the next person we need to hire?
Right.
What's the next move to increase that capacity?
And looking back and seeing the change and what you've worked on and how you've grown.
Yes.
That's so important. Like, it makes a big difference.
That's a good point. It really is interesting when we look back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to see, boy, how have things evolved over that time? There's been a lot of growth and a lot of impact. The reality is, over those 5 years, growth has been an intention.
Right. That's what I was going to say, is that none of it, like, we can look back and see it, but we know that we got from there to here because we wanted to and we chose to grow.
And we'll get to that 10-year mark with that same intention for growth. And it's not just about showing up and just checking tasks. It's about growth. And ultimately, if we are impact focused, impact is about making other people's lives better. And so if we are both growing and focused on impact, we're growing our capacity for that impact.
Right.
That's what we're after, is that is continuing to scale, that we never hit a point where we go, we're having enough impact. It's fine.
We good now.
Yeah. But that we understand that no matter our role, no matter our job, no matter what company we're in or what organization we're a part of, there is always potential to grow.
Right.
Impact.
If you keep going, the possibilities keep changing, expanding as well. Like, you keep having more ability. Yeah. To do better.
Because even I always laugh about, we have a 40-year vision for this. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We have an idea based on what we can see today. I have a feeling by the time we get to that mark, it's going to look wildly different because we can't even imagine what it could
But if you
look
just
like.
you think that you can never even imagine it, and so you just stop there, then you
Yes.
never even try, right?
Yeah.
You have to still say, okay, in 40 years this is what we want to be doing, and then you're gonna at least land somewhere close enough, or keep working to have that.
Yep. And so creating that culture of growth matters so much. And so leaders, let's talk about next steps. Let's talk about some action steps here. Ultimately, if you are just buried in your task list, you're going to end up in survival mode. And that means your people are going to also end up in survival mode. They will follow whatever you model. If you find yourself just about, here's the few tasks I have to check today to just survive today, then you are not focused on growth and impact. And there's a good chance you're not thriving. And so ultimately, to have a thriving team, we are focused on growth and impact. And so focus on yourself first. What are areas you need to grow in? What is some of your focuses for this year to be able to say, when I get to the end of this year, I want to be better at something? What is that new skill you want to develop? What's that new way of thinking that you're after? And then for your team to model that for them. We have a whole episode on this, on how we really create those growth paths, because ultimately we need to be able to create that. And so that last piece, that we are working for growth and impact, it matters deeply. And I just want to say this whole series here, talking about these three, and this definition one last time, that everyone on our team is unified in purpose, champions healthy leadership, and works for growth and impact. Yeah. We said at the beginning of the series, where when we see organizations embrace our definition of healthy leadership and embrace our definition of a thriving team and put those high and chase those and say, this is what we're after.
And repeat them. Everything
starts to change.
Yeah.
The organization itself starts to become healthier, starts to thrive. They start to do more. They start to have more impact. And so I would encourage you guys to embrace this, to say we can be a thriving team. If we can show up as healthy leaders, we can ultimately be a thriving team. It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
If people want to send us where they're at on this journey, I love hearing from people that are figuring out how to help their team thrive. Where would they send that to?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, where would they find us?
@forwardpartner.
@forwardpartner, where you are putting out a tremendous amount of content, taking everything we talk about, turning it into easily consumable content and easily shareable content, by the way. Hint, hint, watchers and listeners. Thank you so much for this conversation. John with Porchlight Productions, thank you for your partnership on this. And thank you for listening, for liking, for subscribing, sharing, all the things. It truly does mean the world to us. We will see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.